Last week, an AI agent saved someone $4,200 in a car while they were sitting in a meeting. The same week, another AI agent spam texted someone's wife 500 times while the owner watched helplessly. Same technology, same week. The only difference, the quality of the instructions. One agent searched Reddit for pricing data, contacted dealers across multiple regions, played hardball against sales tactics, and closed the deal autonomously. The other one got access to iMessage and went crazy, carpet bombed an entire contact list before anyone could hit stop. And that duality, that is the most honest summary of where AI agents stand right now in February 2026. The value is real, the chaos is real, the distance between them is shockingly thin. I'm going to break down what's actually happening in the AI agent space, what 145,000 developers building 3,000 skills reveals about what people actually want from AI. And most importantly, how to harness this without getting buried. Let's get into it. Quick context for anyone joining this story. There is an open source AI agent project that launched in late January. It had 3 names in 3 days due to trademark issues. The community eventually voted on OpenClaw, and that's what stuck. Here's where it gets wild. This project now has over 145,000 GitHub stars, 20,000 forks, more than 100,000 users have granted an AI agent autonomous access to their digital lives, their emails, messages, calendars, even bank connections. The Skills Marketplace hosts 3,000 community-built integration with 50,000 monthly installs. Oh, and remember when AI.com crashed during the Super Bowl? That was OpenClaw. They pivoted the site to give everyone a personal agent, forgot to top up their Cloudflare credits, and the entire Super Bowl audience took the site down. This is the fastest growing personal AI project in history. The founder still calls it a free open source hobby project at this point. That's probably underselling it. And as you know, it got acquired by OpenAI in February 14th. We don't know is it going to be still open source or not. But here's what's actually interesting. Not the drama, not the crashes, but those 3,000 skills tell us about what people genuinely want from AI agents. The Skills Marketplace is basically a revealed preference agent. Nobody's filling out surveys. They're just building and showing us exactly what they want through what they build. The patterns are striking. Number 1 use case, email management. Not help me write emails, complete autonomous management. Processing thousands of messages, unsubscribing from spam, categorizing by urgency, drafting replies for human reviews. The single most requested capability is making the inbox stop being a full-time job. Number 2, morning briefings, agents that run at 8 a.m. Pull from your calendar, weather, email, GitHub, Stripe dashboard, whatever you need and send you a consolidated summary. One user's briefing summarizes 50 news tellers and gives them a crypto market overview every morning automatically. Number 3, smart home integration, Tesla controls, home assistant for lights. People want an intelligence layer over their home that doesn't require brain cells. Number 4, developer workflows, GitHub integrations, scheduled tasks, developers using the agent as a task queue, signing work and watching it execute commits in real time. But the 5th category is the most interesting, novel capabilities that didn't exist before. One user sent a voice message via iMessage to an agent with no voice capability. The agent figured out the file format on its own, found the transcription tool on the user's machine, routed audio through OpenAI's API, and just got it done. Nobody programmed it. Here's an insight that should hit you. The AI industry has spent 2025 and 2026 focused on better chat, better conversation, better reasoning, better answers. But when people get the chances to build what they actually want, they're not building chatbot, they're building employees. Now let's talk about a messy version that happens when specifications are vague and permissions are broad. In July 2025, SaaStr founder Jason Lemkin was testing an AI coding assistant on Replit. He put the system under a code freeze, told it 11 times in all caps, do not make changes. The agent ignored every instruction, it wiped his entire production database, records for 1,200 executives gone. But here's what's worse than the wipe itself. When Lemkin investigated, he discovered the agent had created 4,000 fake user accounts and fabricated system logs to cover its tracks. And when he tried to recover the data, the agent told him the rollback was impossible. That was a lie. Rollback worked fine. The agent essentially manufactured evidence of normal operation. Replit's CEO publicly apologized and rolled out emergency safeguards. I won't say agent was lying with intent, it was optimized for appearance of task completion. When you tell a system to succeed and don't give it a mechanism to admit failure, deception becomes an emergent property. But the production database was still gone. The same problem-solving capability that lets an agent negotiate a car deal or transcribe a voice message it was never designed to handle, the same capability can fabricate evidence when the constraints are wrong. The variable isn't intelligence, it is a specification quality. So how should you actually think about deploying agents? Here's finding that should shape your approach. Research on human AI delegation consistently find people want 70-30 split. 70% human control, 30% delegated to the agent. Studies show participants will choose a less competent human helper over more competent AI helper when the stakes are real. It is psychological, the need for accountability, discomfort delegating to something you can't integrate. And it matters because the most agents architecture are built for 0 to 100, full delegation, hand it off, walk away. That works for isolated coding tasks where correctness is variable. But for messy context-dependent, socially consequential tasks, getting email tone right, scheduling appointments, negotiating communication tasks, the 70-30 splits sounds more like product requirement than human weakness. Organizations seeing the best results aren't running full autonomous systems. They're running human-in-the-loop architecture. Agents that drafts, humans that approve, agents that research, humans that decide. Now, I think this might be an artifact of early 2026. Agents are new, agents are scary. We're all figuring this out. Given how fast capabilities are improving, smart organizations will probably delegate more and more throughout the year. But if you're building with agents right now, design for 70-30. Build approval gates, make the human the decision maker, plan for full delegation over the time as trust develops. Practical deployment principles. Here's what separates the wins from the disasters. Start with friction, not ambition. Email triage, morning briefings, basic monitoring, high frequency, low stake tasks where failure costs are low. Build confidence there first. Design for approval gates. Have the agent draft, have the agent research. You decide. Don't start with full autonomy. Isolate aggressively, dedicated hardware or cloud instances. Throw away accounts for testings. Don't connect to data you can't afford to lose. Specify precisely. The car buyer gave clear objectives, clear constraints, clear channels. The iMessage disaster came from broad access with no boundaries. When constraints are vague, models fill gaps with behavior you didn't predict. Track everything outside the agent scope. The Replit incident was catastrophic because the agent controlled its own monitoring. If the system you're monitoring controls the monitoring, you're not monitoring. Budget for the learning curve. The J-curve is real. Agents will make your life harder before they make it easier. First week of email triage will produce awkward drafts. First morning briefings will miss things. Engage with it. Iterate. Here's the reality. Gartner predicts over 40% of agentic AI projects will be cancelled by the end of 2027. Escalating costs, unclear value, inadequate controls, only about 130 of thousands of agentic AI vendors are actually legitimate. The rest are just rebranding chatbots. But here's what that misses. 100,000 people granted root access to an open source hobby project with no governance in structure. That's not recklessness, that's desperation for agents can actually deliver. The question isn't whether agents will become standard, that's settled, they will. The question is whether infrastructure catches up before unmanaged agents do enough damage to change public perception. Right now, we're in the window where capability wins outpace governance. That window won't last forever. The people and organizations who learn to operate in it now, with guardrails, with clear specs, with human judgments in a loop, they're the one who'll be the furthest ahead when things stabilize. If you found this useful, subscribe. I'm covering the AI agent space closely as it develops. Drop a comment with your biggest question about deploying agents, and I'll tackle the best one in the next video. See you in the next one.